Welcome to AI in 8 minutes or less, your daily AI update. Today, we're going way beyond the headlines to break down the huge shifts happening in AI. We're talking from the chips themselves to the code, all the way to how it's going to change our daily lives. And the answer to what's really next, well, it doesn't start with software. It actually starts with a physical bottleneck that's holding everything back, the speed of data transfer itself. Okay, so let's get into this. Today's AI supercomputers, they're hitting a wall, a literal, physical wall. See, they're all connected with copper wires, and copper just can't move data that far before the signal fades. This means engineers have to build these incredibly dense, incredibly heavy, and super hot server racks. I mean, they're so heavy they actually have to reinforce the concrete floors just to hold them up. And that's where the solution comes in, a tech called Photonics. Instead of shoving electrons through copper, we're now shooting light through fiber optics. And this changes everything. With copper, you basically have a bunch of small brains stuck together in a hotbox. But with photonics, you can connect thousands of GPUs across kilometers, creating one massive, distributed AI system that acts like a single, powerful brain. Just look at that number for a second. That's the bandwidth of a single chip. It's insane. But, having a faster engine doesn't do you any good if the car isn't built to handle it, right? This new hardware opens up a whole universe of possibilities, but only if the AI models themselves can evolve to handle new kinds of data. So everyone knows about large language models, right? LLMs. They're the magic behind things like ChatGPT, and they are brilliant at understanding unstructured stuff like text, pictures, audio. But here's the catch. They really struggle with the kind of structured data that actually runs our world. And that structured data is called tabular data. Think rows and columns. It's every spreadsheet, every database, every CRM. It is the lifeblood of almost every business on the planet, and it hasn't really had its ChatGPT moment yet. Well, that's where a new type of model comes in, the large tabular model, or LTM. And this is the crucial part. LTMs are built completely differently than LLMs. With an LLM, the order of words is everything. You change a sentence, you change the meaning. But think about a patient's medical chart. You don't want a cancer prediction to change just because you swapped the heart rate column with the weight column, right? LTMs get that. It makes them way more reliable for these high-stakes decisions. And they're already being used for things LLMs just aren't suited for. We're talking split-second credit card fraud detection, forecasting what you're going to buy next week, even predicting your Uber's arrival time. These models can just tear through billions of rows of data in a blink. So, when you combine these new brains with the new hardware we just talked about, you start to enable a completely new kind of user experience. For decades, media has been a one-way street. A movie gets made, a video gets uploaded, and every single person watches the exact same thing. Well, AI is about to blow that wide open. The CEO of Synthesia, Victor Ripper-Belli, really nailed it. We've been stuck in this broadcast model. But what happens when video stops being a monologue and starts being a conversation? We are right on the edge of a massive shift. We went from reading text to just passively watching videos, and now we're moving into an era of interaction. I want you to imagine a sales training video that's actually an interactive role-play with an AI customer, or a Disney movie where you can talk to the characters and actually change the story as you go. The only thing that's been holding this back is the absolutely insane cost of bandwidth and what's called inference. That's the raw computing power you need to generate all this stuff in real time. A personalized one-hour movie could cost hundreds of dollars to make today, but this is exactly the problem that new photonics hardware is built to solve. And this power isn't just for fun and games, it's creating a whole new level of productivity, especially for leaders. AI is starting to give executives this kind of omnipresence. It's a way for them to process huge amounts of information and keep what they call the pulse of their entire company. It's almost like a superpower. These new tools give leaders enormous leverage. They can summarize every single Slack channel, every email thread, letting them stay on top of every project without ever missing a tiny but critical detail. And this is turning into real tools that are already changing how leadership works. We're talking about AI that preps you for a meeting by summarizing a person's entire worldview, or an executive changelog that scans everything to list every key decision made across the company every single day. So when you put it all together, the new hardware, the new models, and these interactive apps, the pace of change becomes almost impossible to wrap your head around. When all these things come together, the faster chips, the smarter models, these new applications, it just accelerates progress at a mind-bending rate. The CEO of Lightmatter,
Nick Harris, put it this way: "You can taste the singularity at this point. And what makes this moment so different from every other tech revolution is what AI is automating."
For the first time in human history, we are not just automating physical labor, we are automating cognition. We are automating the thinking part of a job. And yet, there's this really strange paradox in how most people are seeing this massive shift.
Take a look at this. A recent poll showed that while 70% of Americans think AI will reduce the number of jobs overall, only 30% are actually worried about their own job. There's this widespread belief that, this is a revolution that's happening to someone else.
And that all leads to the most important question we have to ask ourselves as we step into this new world. AI isn't just automating labor anymore, it's automating thought. Are we really ready for what that means? If you enjoyed this, subscribe to AI in 8 minutes and never miss what matters.